Ethan Gu was deeply in love with me. Everyone thought so, including myself. It was our third wedding anniversary. For the first time, I prepared a full table of dishes. But the food went cold, and he still hadn't come home. That evening, I received a video. In it, my loving husband was holding a guitar, singing tenderly to another woman. Chapter 1. Anna, why are your hands so cold? Ethan naturally took my hand, warming it between his palms, then slipped it into his coat pocket. Some of the young women at the law firm whispered excitedly. The superstar is here to pick up Miss Lewis again. He's so in love with her. I turned to look at Ethan's handsome profile. Feeling my gaze, he smiled indulgently at me. Yes, the whole internet knew how much Ethan loved me. When he first gained fame, he announced our relationship. When he won the Academy Award, he thanked me on stage. That night, he publicly announced our marriage. His fans had never approved of me, and they went wild. Out of 10 comments, 8 were curses directed at me, and the other 2 were from friends offering their congratulations. Ethan, with a stern face, started a live stream. Usually, he would chat gently with his fans, but that day he said nothing. Only when asked about the marriage did he respond. I announced it on my own. I was afraid she wouldn't marry me. Then he ended the stream, leaving his fans bewildered. When I found out later, I was both angry and amused. Some of his fans couldn't accept it and unfollowed him, while others became die-hard fans, attracting a wave of new admirers. Every time there was a poll for the most eligible bachelor in the entertainment industry, Ethan would win by a landslide. Fans envied me for being the object of his affection. I also believed he truly loved me until I received an anonymous photo. In the picture, Ethan was passionately kissing another woman. It wasn't a scene from a movie, it was a candid shot. Chapter 2. Returning to our cozy home. Ethan had personally overseen the renovation. Based on my preferences, it was decorated in warm tones, cozy and comfortable. He kissed my forehead. Then he went to the kitchen to make my favorite braised ribs. He nagged me about eating properly every day. I'm a workaholic and often neglect meals when I'm busy. Over time, I developed stomach issues. I remember one night, I had a severe stomachache, sweating from the pain. Ethan rushed me to the hospital, and it took several days for treatments to recover. He was terribly frightened. Since then, Ethan learned to cook well during his spare time. Whenever he was home, he would cook for me. We've been married for 3 years, still like a couple in love. At night, Ethan still held me, gripping my hand as we slept. Listening to his steady breathing, I opened my eyes in the dark, touching his fluffy hair. I couldn't fall asleep for a long time. He was still so good to me. I began to suspect that the photo was a deliberate setup. Ethan's vacation wasn't long. Soon, he had to return to the set. When I went out to take out the trash, I found a package at the door. It was early autumn, and the weather was still warm. Yet I felt a chill. Chapter 3. I opened the package, and inside were more photos. A woman was leaning against a sleeping Ethan. She had noticeable love marks on her neck, smiling sweetly. I recognized that woman. She was the third lead in Ethan's new drama, named Tina Quinn. When the production announced the cast, Tina was heavily criticized online. People said she had no experience and had taken the role from a trained actress. Rumor had it she had a benefactor, and now I knew who that was. Because Ethan was both the director and the main investor of the film. I clenched my fist, trying to stay calm as I dialed Ethan's number. The phone rang for a long time before someone answered. Ethan is busy. Can you call back later? The voice sounded playful and cheerful. I hung up without saying a word, sitting dazed on the couch. The sun moved from the center of the sky to the west. The phone rang. Anna, what's wrong? The voice on the other end sounded a bit anxious, asking cautiously. I took a deep breath. I'm on vacation now. How about I come to the set as your assistant? It sounded like something fell and rolled on the other end. Anna, you finally get a break. Just stay home and relax for a few days. The filming's in the mountains, and it's super muddy. Your cleanliness thing won't handle that. Plus, there are tons of mosquitoes and they love you. I don't want you to go through that. He's still so considerate, but did he forget that my cleanliness fetish doesn't apply to him? That year, Ethan had finally landed a role in a famous director's movie. The location was in the desert. It happened to be my vacation, so I went to the set, waiting for him in the dressing room. Ethan finished his night shoot, looking dusty and tanned, having lost some weight. My eyes stung, and I rushed to hug him. Ethan, concerned about my cleanliness, kept saying, "I'm dirty." I patted the sand from his hair and gently touched his face. "You're not dirty at all." Ethan's eyes reddened instantly, and he hugged me tightly. The desert nights were cold, but Ethan's embrace was warm. I spent my entire vacation on set. Every day, holding a water bottle, standing in the midst of the yellow sand. Chapter 4. The next day, I wore my well-fitted suit to work as usual. After a busy day, I walked to my car. Jack was leaning against it. I pushed him aside, annoyed. "Move, I need to drive." "Oh, what's up today? Not going after any cases?" I looked at him, exasperated by his constant nosiness. In college, Jack loved to challenge me. During debate competitions, we often argued fiercely. After graduation, we ended up in rival law firms. Though we seemed like adversaries, we often shared information. Today, the case was about a male celebrity's infidelity and divorce, and it came with a hefty fee. For some reason, I didn't feel like fighting for it. "You don't look so great. Feeling sick?" Jack suddenly leaned in, startling me. "I'm fine." He handed me a candy, my favorite green plum candy from college. As it dissolved in my mouth, the soreness spread, making my heart ache too. Thinking about the infidelity case, my mind went to Ethan. For the first time in my life, I didn't know what to do. Chapter 5. Before I knew it, it was September 15th. Our third wedding anniversary. I'm not someone who values grand gestures, but Ethan is a natural romantic. Every year on our anniversary, he meticulously prepares a gift and carves out time to be with me. "Anna, the shoot can't be rescheduled today. I can't make it back. I'll make it up to you later, okay?" Ethan called, his voice filled with apologies. I looked at the meal I had prepared, slowly growing cold. That night, while I was sorting through a case, I received an email. A sense of dread washed over me. I opened it to find a video. Tina was wearing a birthday hat, surrounded by colorful balloons. As the background music played, the camera panned. Though it was brief, I recognized it instantly. Ethan was holding a guitar, singing. The scene was romantic and warm. The sight stung my eyes. My nose tingled, and I swallowed hard to push down the lump in my throat. Ethan's singing was so beautiful. I tortured myself, watching the video over and over again. Mocking myself for having turned a blind eye. I requested leave from the law firm. That night, I quietly arrived at Ethan's set. Chapter 6. Wearing a hat, I blended into the crew, watching the two of them from a distance. Ethan was directing from the monitor. Beside him, Tina sat under a canopy, wrapped in a coat. I recognized the coat immediately. It was Ethan's. It was the couple's coat I had given him. I quietly slipped away and called Ethan's assistant for his hotel room number. Before long, the assistant rushed over, looking anxious. His eyes darted around, and he stood uncomfortably in front of me. "Miss Lewis, what are you doing here? Ethan will finish filming soon." Before he could finish, Ethan appeared, looking disheveled. He signaled for the assistant to leave. "Anna, why did you come without letting me know? It's not safe to drive at night." Ethan's forehead was slick with sweat as he reached out to touch my face. I stepped back, and his hand froze mid-air. "What's wrong? Afraid I'll see something I shouldn't?" Ethan's expression shifted, and he forced a smile. "Anna, what do you mean by that?" I scoffed, pulled out the photos from my bag, and slapped them across his face. "Ethan, you're disgusting." Chapter 7. Here's the refined version of your text. aligned with the English novel context. I walked away without waiting for his response. At the hotel entrance, Tina was leaning against the wall, smoking, her eyes sparkling with triumph as she spotted me. With staff members bustling around, I didn't want to engage her further. When I got home, it was already daylight. Ethan had called dozens of times, but I ignored every single one. I drove to a nearby bar. The dance floor was packed with people dancing without a care, day and night. "Hey, beautiful. All alone?" A man approached me, drink in hand. I ignored him and tried to walk away, but he grabbed my waist, smirking. I pushed him away immediately, my voice firm. "I warn you, that behavior is harassment." He released me, laughing casually as if it were a joke. Not wanting to waste any more time on him, I grabbed my bag and left. The phone rang again, too irritating to ignore. I picked it up. "Anna, where are you? It's not what you think. I'll be home in a few days. Please wait for me." Ethan's voice came through, familiar yet distant. "Sure, I'll wait for you." I just wanted to see what kind of explanation he could offer. Chapter 8. Before I could get an explanation, Tina Quinn reached out to meet me. She had somehow added me on WeChat and invited me to a restaurant. When I arrived, she was already there. The restaurant was empty, and on the table sat a steak I disliked. I took a good look at Tina. Her long, wavy hair framed her face, with big eyes and plump lips. She had fair skin, exuding a cute and lively vibe. Her face stirred a memory within me. I had seen her photo before, back when Ethan and I were newly together, hidden in his bedside drawer. It was a picture of them looking young and innocent. Ethan had merely said she was a college classmate. Now I realized how foolish I had been to think Ethan loved me. Tina had always held a place in his heart. "Miss Lewis, I didn't know it was your call that day. I didn't mean to answer," she said, blinking her eyes and pouting like an innocent child. "Cut the act. Ethan's phone has wife saved as a contact." I sneered, unimpressed by her performance. Tina's innocent facade cracked, her brows furrowing and eyes narrowing. Triggered by the word wife, she suddenly stood up, furious. "I belong with Ethan. You're the third wheel here." Chapter 9. Ethan's first love was Tina. They fell in love in college. A classic tale of the poor boy and the rich girl, an unlikely pair. Tina's parents disapproved of their relationship. To sever their ties, they sent her abroad. She struggled overseas, often bullied by her classmates. Tragically, her parents died in a car accident, and their company was taken over by relatives. Left alone abroad, Tina fell into depression. "How ridiculous. We only got together after you two broke up. Why do you think I'm the third wheel? Let me tell you, without me, Ethan wouldn't be where he is today." I knew I was right. If it hadn't been for my help, Ethan wouldn't have achieved his current success. Chapter 10. The first time I met Ethan, he was still a nobody. I was already a somewhat well-known lawyer. He was in a dispute with his agency, which exploited him and withheld his pay. Ethan came to the law firm for a consultation, but he couldn't afford the steep fees. Standing tall, he bit his lip and asked if there was any way to lower the costs. When he was refused, embarrassment flushed his cheeks. Outside, it was pouring rain, and he walked out into it. His shirt and jacket clinging to him, making him look even thinner. Can you believe it? Asking for a discount when he has no money. Some people laughed at him. I watched him through the window, drenched and vulnerable. In that moment, I caught a glimpse of my younger self. After my parents divorced, neither chose to take me. My grandmother wanted to enroll me in a tutoring class but couldn't afford it, and I was ridiculed. A strong sense of empathy drove me to run out with an umbrella, standing beside Ethan, sheltering him from the downpour. "I'll help you." His dull eyes suddenly lit up. Later, with my assistance, he escaped the clutches of the exploitative agency. His career finally took off. Chapter 11. Tina wanted to say more. But Ethan suddenly burst in, his expression dark as he roughly pulled her away. Ethan, we knew each other first. Tina struggled, clawing at him. Ethan ignored her protests, dragging her out and shoving her into the car. He straightened his clothes before approaching me, reverting to his gentle demeanor. Anna, you don't like steak. Let's go home, and I'll cook for you. I looked at him coldly, like he was a stranger. This gaze seemed to hurt Ethan. He gently covered my eyes. Anna, don't look at me like that. I pushed his hand away, my expression flat. Weren't you going to explain? Ethan lowered his head, embarrassed. Those photos are fake. There's nothing between us. She has depression. I was just taking care of her. I didn't know whether to believe him. Even if they weren't truly together. Ethan had undeniably shared his heart with another woman, hadn't he? Just then, the harsh ring of his phone interrupted us. He pressed it off, but it rang again, forcing him to answer. Whatever the caller said, Ethan's face turned pale as he rubbed his hair in frustration. With a loud crash, he threw his phone against the wall. Anna, please go home and wait for me. I need to handle something. I'll be back soon. His assistant drove up, and Ethan left, glancing back at me with each step. I was left alone in the empty restaurant. I fought hard to keep my tears at bay. Pride and dignity wouldn't allow me to cry over a scoundrel, but my emotions were dismantling my defenses. I touched my belly, feeling utterly heartbroken. Chapter 12. I barely slept last night. When morning came, I felt so nauseous that I ran to the bathroom to vomit. My assistant called, urging me to check my phone. I opened it to find the top entertainment headline. Superstar Ethan's wife Anna Lewis caught in bar with Quinn. Clicking in, I saw the moment when the man held me at the bar, caught on camera. The dim lights and intimate atmosphere. The man had his arms wrapped around my waist, looking as if we were kissing. I quickly posted a clarification. To my surprise, James commented below. It's okay, better luck next time. He was a rich second-generation star, popular for his idol-like looks, boasting hundreds of thousands of fans. His comment seemed to confirm the allegations of my infidelity. Suddenly, the internet was flooded with vitriol. Anna Lewis cheated. Anna Lewis is disgusting. The superstar really misjudged her. Anna Lewis is sickening. Anna Lewis should just disappear. How could she? Did she forget when the superstar took a knife for her? I knew she wasn't worthy. Hurting him like this. Ethan loves her so much, how could she cheat? I stared at my haggard reflection in the mirror, trying to comprehend it all. Ethan truly loved me, even going so far as to take a knife for me. We were supposed to be happy. Chapter 13. That day, as I left work, a man suddenly rushed at me with a knife. I recognized him as the father of a defendant whose son had been jailed for violent assault. This father, a minor local official, was trying to protect his son. After attempting to bribe me and being refused, he sought revenge. Ethan happened to arrive just in time, rushing forward to shield me without hesitation. The knife sliced into his abdomen, blood flowing down. Fortunately, security arrived quickly and subdued the man. I panicked. It was the first time I had cried since growing up. The incident was captured on video and posted online. Ethan is so brave. What did Anna do to deserve this? She only brings harm to Ethan. She doesn't deserve him. Some of his fans blindly cursed me. Even after the truth emerged, some still believed their idol was unsafe with me. They praised Ethan's bravery while belittling me. To make matters worse, they even sent me bloody dead rats, leaving me terrified. I suffered from nightmares for a long time. Chapter 14. My assistant advised me not to go to the firm, saying people were surrounding it. I had no choice but to stay home. In the afternoon, hunger drove me to the supermarket. Seeing no one around, I went out. But I was recognized. They wore masks and hats, throwing things at me, cursing me. In the chaos, someone hit my head with a seasoning jar. Dizzy, I tried to steady myself and call the police. They knocked my phone away. Suddenly, someone shielded me. Touch her again, and I'll call the police. They scattered, fearing trouble. My forehead was bleeding slightly. Jack Shea took me to a pharmacy for a band-aid. Seeing my disheveled state, he tried to tidy my hair but pulled back his hand. A strong sense of humiliation hit me, and I turned my head, staring into the distance. My phone lit up. It was Ethan calling. I hung up immediately, but it rang again. I was about to turn it off when I saw the caller ID. I answered it right away. "Anna, come back quickly. Your grandmother is in trouble." Chapter 15. Jack drove me back to my hometown. Grandma was already in the hospital. The caregiver said she had seen the video of me being attacked online and fainted from the shock. The doctor explained that Grandma was already elderly and had high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol. The shock had caused a stroke, and the prognosis was grim. Hearing this, I almost collapsed. Thankfully, Jack was behind me, holding me up. After my parents' divorce, I had lived with my grandmother, and she was my closest family. I couldn't sleep, staying by her side, holding her hand tightly, praying day and night for her recovery, but my prayers went unanswered. The long, shrill beep of the monitor signaled the end. Doctors rushed in. It happened so quickly, I couldn't react. Everything around me felt surreal, and I heard a ringing in my ears. A sharp pain in my lower abdomen, and my consciousness faded. Chapter 16. I had a dream. In it, I stood at the school gate, and Grandma was across the street, holding my favorite cotton candy, smiling as she came to pick me up. I ran towards her, but she walked past me and held another little girl's hand. They walked away together, and I tried to follow, but my feet wouldn't move. "Grandma!" I shouted desperately, my voice tearing through my throat. But they didn't look back. I woke up with a start, clutching the bedsheet, drenched in sweat. "Anna, how are you?" Jack was sitting beside me, looking concerned. "How's Grandma? I need to see her." I tried to sit up, wanting to remove the four. But the pain in my lower abdomen kept me down. Jack quickly restrained me, speaking gravely. "Anna, I know it's hard to accept, but your grandmother, she passed away." I collapsed back onto the bed, tears streaming down my face. I didn't know how long I cried until I fell asleep again. When I woke up, the four had finished. I heard Jack and the doctor talking in the hallway. They decided to keep my miscarriage a secret until I was emotionally stable. But how could I not know? I had lost the baby. I was already pregnant when Tina Quinn asked to meet. I had planned to tell Ethan, but he left me that night. The child I had never met was gone. The double blow left me gaunt and frail. Jack bought me many nutritional supplements, but they were useless. I was discharged and arranged my grandmother's funeral. During this time, Ethan never showed up. I knew why, from Tina Quinn's social media post. She and Ethan were holding hands. The caption read, "Ethan doesn't mind my illness. He's been taking care of me. Thank you, darling." I gripped my phone so tightly my knuckles turned white, tearing at my hangnail in frustration. At night, I sat on the porch steps, Jack beside me. He had been helping me throughout this difficult period, and I was grateful. Staring at the distant lights, I made a decision. "Jack, will you help me?" His dark eyes locked onto mine, and he suddenly smiled. "Of course." Chapter 17. After returning, I issued a statement. "Anyone who continues to harass me will be reported to the police." Knowing I'm a lawyer, they backed off, only daring to curse me online. I then saw Ethan's post. "My wife did not cheat. Stop spreading lies." A few perfunctory words like a handout. The internet didn't believe him, thinking he was covering for me. I decided to move out of the house Ethan had renovated. On the day I was packing, I saw Tina Quinn in the hallway. She leaned against the door, smugly smiling at me. "Ethan will be mine soon enough." My anger flared, and I abandoned my usual decorum. I walked over, grabbed her hair, and shoved her into the apartment. Caught off guard, Tina was wary, her eyes full of fear. "What are you doing?" I slapped her hard. Her eyes widened, and she reached out with her long nails to scratch me. Before she could, she suddenly fell to the ground. She started rubbing her head, screaming like a madwoman. I looked at her in bewilderment, as if she were a lunatic. "Tina!" Ethan had arrived. He rushed past me to help her up. "Ethan, Anna hates me. She hit me." Even in her madness, she maintained her act. Ethan finally looked at me, struggling to speak. Tina continued to shake, accidentally showing the cuts on her wrists. I noticed the scars, and so did Ethan. "Ethan, I missed you so much abroad, but I couldn't come back. I was bullied every day." Tears fell as she spoke, and Ethan's pupils shrank, his brows furrowing. "Anna, Tina's depression is acting up. You shouldn't provoke her." Instead of asking where I had been or what had happened to me, he blamed me for Tina's few words. I had prepared for this, but it still felt like needles in my heart. I said nothing and turned to leave, stumbling into the coffee table and nearly falling. Ethan reached out to steady me, but Tina grabbed his hand. As I reached the door, I looked back at Ethan. He seemed agitated, wanting to come to me. Anna. Tina clung to his waist desperately. I closed the door and walked away. Chapter 18. On a sunny morning, I moved into the small apartment I had bought earlier. That night, Ethan found me, begging to come in. I agreed and handed him the divorce papers. My signature was already on them. Seeing it, he refused to sign. "I won't sign. Anna, I don't want a divorce." I looked at him with no love left in my eyes. Now, I only felt hatred. "I was attacked, my grandmother died. Where were you? Ethan, where were you?" Ethan seemed to be hearing this for the first time, staggering back, holding onto the sofa to stay upright. His voice was choked with tears. "I didn't know Grandma passed away. I was wrong. Tina's depression acted up, she tried to harm herself. It was all my fault, I couldn't handle it." He held me tightly, as if I were his lifeline. "Anna, I'm sorry. I'll fix everything. Let's go back to being happy, please." Even now, he was delusional, thinking our broken relationship could be repaired. "Ethan, who are you trying to fool?" I hated his indecisiveness, unable to let go of Tina or me. I had loved him for 5 years. How could it not hurt? Our nights together, now ending like this. "Leave. There's nothing to discuss except divorce." His embrace felt repulsive, and I pushed him away with all my strength. But he clung to me, holding on silently. His tears fell on my neck, warm and wet. "Don't divorce me. Please, Anna." I stood there, listening to his pleas unmoved. He knew I never looked back once I made a decision. But he was stubborn, refusing to sign the papers. Chapter 19. I had more important matters to handle. I met with Quinn, slapping a document on the table. His face turned pale upon reading it. It was a financial fraud report. Jack had given it to me, as he had handled Quinn's company's case before. "Quinn, do you want your company or Tina Quinn?" He stood up, grinding his teeth, his voice strained. "You're threatening me?" I wasn't intimidated, leisurely stirring my coffee. "You like Tina, don't you? Why not cooperate with me? If she can't be a big star, maybe she'll come back to you. You can't just watch her with Ethan, can you?" Quinn and Tina were cousins, having an illicit relationship abroad. Tina used his affection, taking his money to return home, then framing me for infidelity. I wouldn't let them off. Quinn clenched his fists, glaring at me for a long time, finally agreeing silently. He was a wastrel, his company already struggling. Even if I didn't expose him, bankruptcy was imminent. But of course, I would expose him. Chapter 20. Ethan's movie was about to be released. I chose the day before the premiere to release the photos. Photos of Ethan and Tina kissing in bed, entering hotels. Also, Tina's old photos with Quinn abroad. Quinn posted a clarification. "I have no relationship with Anna Zhu, I was just helping her that day. Please stop misunderstanding. The internet exploded. The narrative shifted and the people who cursed me disappeared. Tina Quinn hooking up with Quinn and Ethan. Ethan turned out to be like this. Acting all noble, but he's a scumbag. We were so wrong. Anna Zhu is innocent. Tina Quinn and Ethan are disgusting. They should both leave the entertainment industry. Anna Zhu is a strong woman. She caught the scumbags and ruined them. Did you notice Tina and Quinn are cousins? Gross. How can people like this exist? Ethan, Tina, get out of showbiz. As expected, the movie was pulled, never to be released. Ethan's hard work was ruined and his reputation destroyed. I couldn't be happier. Chapter 21. I drove to where Tina Quinn was staying. She had been hiding in one of Ethan's properties, but that was now overrun. She had secretly moved back to a small rented place, now surrounded by an angry crowd. Tina was too scared to come out. Ethan had abandoned her, busy dealing with his own crisis. Not long after, she was dragged out, her hair a mess. The landlord, thinking it was justice, pulled her out. She was beaten and trembling, her clothes torn. People called her a whore, blaming her for ruining Ethan. Tina screamed helplessly, her face pale but lips bright red. She looked like a ghost, cursing me. Anna Zhu, you bitch! You're the real third party. Someone slapped her. Shameless! Ethan must be a great actor, fooling us with his deep love act. Poor Anna Zhu. The crowd's curses were like a chant around her. Tina lost her beauty, now just a battered shell on the ground. She suddenly laughed maniacally, running off into the distance. Chapter 22. Returning to our old home. Ethan was there as I expected. In just a few days, he was unshaven, his hair a mess. His eyes were bloodshot and his expression vacant. Seeing me, he stood up mechanically. There was a plate of cold braised ribs on the table. He mumbled to himself. Anna, you're back. The food is cold. I'll reheat it. I calmly said. No need. I'm not eating. He stopped, turned around, tears streaming down his face. Anna, I won't see Tina again. He hurriedly took out a box from the sofa, approaching me. Anna, this is my anniversary gift for you. Do you like it? Inside was a star-shaped necklace, matching the moon necklace he wore. Ethan's smile was forced, sadder than crying. I took the necklace and threw it to the ground. I ruined your movie. Don't you hate me? His forced smile crumbled, then reappeared. He shook his head frantically, his hand gripping my shoulder. It's okay, it's okay. As long as you don't leave me. I can buy you a new gift, okay? I took out a report from my bag, my pregnancy report. I was 4 months pregnant. Ethan froze for a few seconds, his eyes lighting up. He wanted to hug me but didn't know how, excitedly looking at the report. Really? We're having a baby. He might have thought a baby meant we had a chance. But I gently touched his face, cruelly telling him. If you agree to a clean divorce, I'll keep the baby. Ethan's smile froze, fearfully shaking his head. I won't. You can take all the money, just don't divorce me. If you don't sign, I'll terminate the pregnancy. It was an impossible choice. Ethan couldn't win. To keep the baby, and me. He could only agree to the divorce. We scheduled a date at the Civil Affairs office to finalize the divorce. At that moment, I was finally free. Chapter 23. After the divorce, Ethan stayed in the old house. He said he made a big meal. Carefully asked if I wanted to come over for dinner. I agreed, and he smiled in surprise. Ethan had kept the house as it was. Wearing an apron, he sat at the table, waiting for me, just like before. Sunlight streamed in, bright and warm. Ethan saw me and quickly stood up, wanting to help me. I avoided him, sitting down and quietly eating. He watched me with gentle eyes, as if he couldn't get enough. Anna, when's your next checkup? I'll go with you. I have a lot of time now. He brought out some baby bottles and toys, placing them in front of me, excited for our child, dreaming of a future. I put down my chopsticks, wiped my mouth. In a gentle voice, I said what Ethan feared most. "Why check? The baby is gone." The toy car fell to the floor. Ethan stood there, unable to comprehend. "Anna, what are you saying? I just saw our baby's report." I handed him the miscarriage report. The sunny sky outside was now overcast. "The baby was gone when I was 2 months pregnant, after Grandma passed away. I couldn't handle the shock. Where were you then?" Comforting Tina in her warm embrace. My words were like daggers, each one an indictment against Ethan. Stop. Anna, I was wrong. Let's start over. Have another baby, okay?" He rushed over, kneeling, holding my waist, his lips trembling. "Ethan, we're divorced." I pushed him away, looking down at his pitiful, broken state. Lightning flashed outside, rain pouring down. I took an umbrella, stepping outside. Ethan followed, soaked in the rain. His once straight back now hunched, his voice hoarse and desperate. Anna, I love you." I turned to look at him one last time, then got into my car. Ethan chased after me, but he couldn't catch up. This time, Anna Zhu would move forward without Ethan, towards a future without him. Chapter 24. The day Ethan announced his retirement from the entertainment industry. I was at the airport with my suitcase. I had quit my job at the law firm, planning a trip to Switzerland for some rest. A young woman next to me was watching Ethan's retirement announcement on her phone. I glanced at it and put on my sunglasses. Anna Zhu. Jack Shea was behind me with his suitcase. "What's this?" "Going to Switzerland for a case. Not everyone has it as easy as you." I tilted my head arrogantly, smiling slightly. "Oh, Mr. Busy." Jack grinned with his big white teeth, looking carefree. "How about a trip together sometime?" "Sure."